celebrities. I mean, there's a whole host of celebrities who've talked about those deepfake videos. Are we doing enough as a society, or perhaps from the government side, to safeguard against that?
Look, let's be very clear. I think the responsibility of the harms, the criminalities that are on the internet, whether they are deepfake, whether there's misinformation, whether it is CSAM, whether it is other kinds of criminal content, we are very clear as a government of India that though the responsibility for that primarily is with the platforms, the intermediaries who connect the producer of these types of unlawful content to the consumer of these kinds of unlawful content. So we have since 2021 evolved a jurisprudence, evolved a framework of regulation that squarely ensures that the platforms and the intermediaries, as we call it in our law, are accountable for the safety and trust of the consumers of the internet. Now, whether it is misinformation powered by AI, which is deepfakes, audio, video deepfakes, or it is misinformation, which is text, or whether it is criminal content of some other kind, unlawful content, patent violating content, whether it's CSAM, these are all now squarely the responsibility of the platforms. And we have made it very clear, and recently we issued an advisory to them as well, that if their general counsel hadn't warned them yet, in their in-house lawyers hadn't warned them yet, about the consequences of having their consumers violate, their users violate these laid down 11 types of unlawful content, the consequences are pretty severe. And the consequences are not just about rapping their knuckles and saying, don't do it, bad boy. It'll be, consequences are going to be under criminal law. Because that is where these unlawful content, the adjudication and the solutions for those lie. So I think the platforms understand this, that we are living in a new world where the safety and trust of our consumers and users and digital nagriks, as we call them, are very, very important deliverable for our government, and that this is a responsibility of the platform. And the old model where platforms, in a sense, masqueraded as innovators and escaped regulation and left it to the government to solve these problems of harms, is being replaced surely and steadily by this new model of accountability.
Right. The Prime Minister speaks about four castes, how there's youth, there's poor, there's women, there's farmers. How do you leverage technologies such as AI or other emerging technologies to help these segments, which the government itself has now, through the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, stated time and again that these are the focus areas for the government?
No, look, I think if you look at it, I'm not sure exactly how to answer that question, but if you look at it, tech in India is very now heavily embedded in pretty much everything we are doing. In governance, this is the same country which just a decade ago was being described as a country which was a dysfunctional democracy, where 100 rupees left Delhi, only 15 rupees reached the citizen because of the levels of intermediation and corruption that the government represented. Now, this is the same country, the same system that today delivers that 100 rupees because we have embedded so much of technology into governance. And those tools, those platforms are now increasingly being recognized by the world, especially countries that have not gone up the digitization curve as much as other countries, as open source platforms that will enable their own digitization. So I think, Madhav, it is not so much about saying technology for the youth, technology for the women, technology for the farmer, and technology for the poor. Technology for our government is a decidedly fundamental way of transforming democracy and governance and making sure that even the most distant citizen is connected to government. There has been a narrative for many, many years around the world, especially in the Western world, that technology is exclusive. It excludes people. Digital excludes people. India is a classic case of a country that is demonstrating at scale that technology can be used to make democracy and governance inclusive. And I think that is what technology is being used for. It is absolutely a vision of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And if anything, in the coming third term of his government, we will double down and increase and accelerate the digitization of government and public services.
Right. You've spoken